I mean, the fact that we're even talking about this is kind of confusing to me because when you talk about baseball, there aren't too many guys in the game anywhere, in any city, where when they're on the field, you have to watch. So why the heck would they even entertain the possibility of moving him?
Well, I'll say this. It doesn't hurt to entertain the possibility. So I don't blame them at all for looking and listening and seeing what's out there for them. I will say this, and, we had this story in the New York Post that they are listening. I will say this. There are two reasons right now why I think that this is extremely unlikely. One is Trout is out at the moment. Rendon is out at the moment. This is the reason to come to the park if you're in Anaheim and you're thinking about going to a baseball game. The other thing is it's a huge gamble. To trade a guy who's almost Babe Ruth, it's a big gamble. It's not easy. It's not easy for the GM. It's particularly not easy for the owner, who I'm sure loves him. They've collected stars there. It hasn't really worked. They need more depth. Certainly worth considering. See what's out there. I think it's a long shot. Okay, can we bring back up that quote from Ohtani? I want to actually read it, and there's a reason why. So he says, "I'm with the Angels right now, and I'm very thankful for what they've done. I really love the team. I love my teammates right now, and I'm an Angel. And that's all I can really focus on at this point." So, Jake, that is the correct answer. That is exactly what you should be saying, right? Knowing full well you could be moved. So now he has to perform knowing that he is an international star who could be on the move.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And look, I think that there's two parts to this. He certainly has to keep focused because he's been the best pitcher in the American League. Him and Verlander have been tit for tat, and what they've done, you've got to keep that focus. But again, if you're Shohei Ohtani and you're this kind of superstar, it's got to be intriguing for him to think about joining one of these teams. And gosh, don't we all want to see this cat in the postseason? We've said it about Mike Trout for so long. And with just a year and a half left, we'll see what ends up happening here. But it's got to be an interesting thing. He's going to keep his focus, but I'm sure in the back of his mind, he's also thinking what it would be like to pitch for one of these contending teams.
And John, that goes right to where I'm going next. Thank you for that, Jake. Billy Epler and Ohtani have a relationship. Epler now with the Mets. He was with the Angels. How does that factor in, if at all?
I doubt that it really does factor in, other than I know the Mets have talked about this with the Angels, and the Yankees have. Many teams have at this point. Why not? Certainly, he has a good relationship with Billy Epler. He helped lure him to Anaheim. Great move for Billy Epler and the franchise. That quote was interesting to me because he could have said, like Wilson Contreras, "I don't want to go anywhere. I love it here." He didn't say that, but he did say, "I love what they've done for me," which is, I think, a very nice thing to say and inappropriate because they have let him do what he wants to do, which is pitch and hit. There was a lot of people out there, I'm not going to name names, Brian Kenny, but there were others, many others, who were saying, how can you have him doing all these different things and expect him to stay healthy and, everything's going to be great? And as it turns out, he's able to do it. He's amazing. He's a once-in-a-century player. Give him all the credit, but give them the credit, too, for letting him do what he wanted to do. That said, that quote didn't contain anything like, "I need to be here. I want to stay here. I love it." So makes you think he's open to it.
Well, okay, that's how you interpret it. I look at it as the answer to a question. Yeah, you're right. You could take it either way.
I got something for you. Is it hard to think about Ohtani being traded, to think about the analytical models that are in place in today's model, and you think about all these teams trying to figure out what they're going to give up for a Juan Soto and what do you give up for Shohei Ohtani? These guys are so out of the box and out of that model that within these next few days, it makes it awfully hard for me to think a team is going to be able to put that together, and it's going to have to be a little bit more than just what the analytics show, and you're getting this generational talent or something like we've never seen in Ohtani, and you just give up maybe more than what the models may see.
Yeah, they have models for everything, but you're right. Ohtani is really off the chart, off the model. He's completely different. He's actually bringing in money through marketing, we don't know exactly how much. Nobody has said, so that certainly changes the equation. My understanding from talking to one GM, so take this with a grain of salt, is that he felt that the asking price was a little higher on Soto than Ohtani. I could make a case the other way where the asking price could be higher on Ohtani, even though it's only this year and next instead of 2 more years, because he does pitch as well. So to me, I would think Ohtani might be worth a little bit more, but that's not the way it seems to be playing out.
The pressure on the GMs in Anaheim and Washington is immense. You cannot miss if you make this deal.